Hello everyone and welcome to my first engine unboxing video. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this. This is the Oxford Rail J26, which I pre-ordered a while ago, and I got this from Rails of Sheffield for 130 pounds, or around $175. Now this is kind of expensive, but I think for a model train of this size, it's not actually too bad a price, and I think if the engine has good detailing and runs well, it could be a very good value. But with that out of the way, let me get this thing open and we can take a look at it. So there it is in the plastic, and it looks like it comes with extra details, so let's take a look at those. Right, so it looks like we've got some fireman's tools, some chain link couplings, and it looks like another drawbar for the tender. So yeah, nice extras. I'll definitely be sure to put those chains on the couplers, but let's get the engine out now. And there you go, there is the Oxford Rail J26. I'll put it on the turntable in a minute, but just for first impressions, I think it looks pretty good. I'm immediately drawn to this matte smoke box here, as well as the matte cab roof. That looks really nice, and I've never seen another engine do that, but it looks really realistic, so that's definitely a nice touch. As for the other details, I think it all looks good. Everything seems to be nicely applied here. The paint is really nothing special, but that's to be expected with this livery. It is just black with the lettering. One thing I will say is that the tender feels really light compared to some other engines. It does not have a lot of weight. It almost feels like one of the Bachmann-Thomas tenders, which is never a good thing, but we'll see. Let me get it onto the turntable and we can take a closer look at it. So there it is, the Oxford Rail J26 up close. And I have to say this model looks pretty good. And I have to say this model looks really good, and there's definitely a good amount of detail to take a look at here. The first thing I'd like to highlight is the matte smoke box here at the front, which just looks amazing. I wish more companies could start doing this because it just looks so good. The same texture is also applied on top of the cab, which is really nice as well. There's some more nice details at the front, including sprung buffers and some lamp irons, as well as a spot to put the included chain couplings, which is a nice inclusion. Moving on to the side, there's not a whole lot of detail, however what is there looks really good. You've got some handrails, which are very nicely applied and are very straight. There's also this detail down here below the frames that I think looks really nice. I especially like this little step that has a tiny separately fitted handrail on top. That's a really great little detail that's applied perfectly as well. Next to that, you've got the number plate, which is printed pretty well. I am a little disappointed, however, that there were no separate etched number plates included here, but I don't think that's too big of a deal, just something I would have liked to see. Below that, we've got the wheels and the brakes, which both look great. Moving on to the cab, you've got the number on the side, which is printed really nicely, along with some more handrails, which are all nicely applied as well. On top of the cab, there's the matte roof I already mentioned, as well as these nice pipes which are picked out in red. My favorite detail up here, however, has got to be these whistles. They're extremely detailed for how tiny they are, and I just think they look amazing. Before we move on to the inside of the cab, I'd like to mention the way the tender is connected. There's this bar at the bottom which connects the tender to the engine, as well as this wire connecting the DCC chip. This is nice as it allows for extra pickups inside the tender, however it also has the downside of making it difficult to separate the tender and the engine. I've done my best to film what's in the cab here without separating the two, and as you can see, the detail looks pretty good. All the pipes and things are nicely painted, and there's a good amount of separate parts. There are these nice seats for the driver and firemen to sit in as well, which will definitely make it easier to add crew figures here. There is one thing in the cab, however, that I'm a little disappointed about, and that is the lack of the glowing firebox LED. As you can see here, the firebox is closed up and there is no LED inside. It's not the biggest deal, but it is something to note about the model and something I wish could have been included here. Behind the cab, there's this adjustable footplate connecting it to the tender. I like this as it helps hide the wires in the drawbar, as well as adding more room for crew figures. Taking a look at the tender now, there's this nice area behind the cab, and really there are solid details all around. You've got the LNER lettering on either side, which just like the numbers, looks great. There are handrails all over, which are again very straight and very nicely applied. On the back, there are more lamp irons, which look solid. The detail around the frames is good too, and there's brake rigging factory fitted, which is always nice to see. So yeah, that's the J26 from Oxford Rail. Overall, a great looking model. I would have liked to see the firebox lighting and the separate number plates here, but other than that, I have no complaints with the decorations, and I think for the price, it's a fantastically detailed model. However, with that done, we can move on over to the track and take a look at how it runs. Now here it is down on the track, and I've already got it run in. I've run it in each direction for about an hour each, so it definitely should be all ready to go now. Let me just get it started here and I'll show you. So yeah, it is a very fast model, I've noticed, compared to the other engines in my collection. It definitely is geared faster. But that's not to say it can't go slowly also. You can see here it can go at a decently slow speed, which is nice. Let me run it over the points real quick so we can see that. Yeah, so no problems there. But yeah, overall it's a good runner. It's got plenty of pickups, so it doesn't cut out anywhere. And overall it just drives pretty smooth. Let me send it over the points again. Look at that, that's great. I did encounter one issue, however, when I was running this guy in, and that is that the tender was making a terrible squeaking sound. I have a video of it here, take a listen. But yeah, it sounded awful, so I put some lubricant on the tender, and it has definitely helped the issue. It doesn't sound like that anymore, as you can see. But yeah, it was very strange. I don't know if the factory lubricant like wore off during shipping or just wasn't applied correctly or what, but yeah, definitely very odd. But with that all out of the way, let me get him hooked up to a train and we can watch him run for a little bit. Now I've got the train all set up here. I just need to get the 2MT out of the way. Let's see here. There we go. And it's a pretty simple train. I've just got a couple of Hornby wagons, as well as the Rapido LNER Lomac in the middle with Toby on it. Let me get him hooked up real quick. There we go. So there you go. That is the Oxford Rail J26 pulling its very first goods train on the layout. And then on the inside line here, I've got another LNER locomotive, and that's the J70 tram by Rapido, which is one of my favorites. And then on the outside line, I've got the Great Western Manor by Dapple, which is not LNER related, but it's always nice to see that one run. I have to say, watching this thing pull goods trains is so great. It's nice to finally have a designated goods tender engine in the collection. I think it pairs especially well with the Rapido Lomac. I can see myself running it a lot with that in the future. And in case you're wondering, here's what it looks like pulling some coaches as well. But I think that's about it for the J26, and I think it would make sense to end these engine reviews with a rating of the engine, and also my thoughts on whether it's a good buy or not. The J26, I'm going to give it a score of 8. This is definitely a model I really enjoy. It's got great detail throughout, runs great, provided you give it a little lubrication, and is priced pretty fairly, I think. So yeah, definitely a model I would recommend buying if you're interested. And if you do already own one of these, leave a comment and let me know what you think of it. But anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this new engine review format. I would love to make more of these in the future whenever I get a new engine, so there should be more of them to come. I have started work on a new Thomas Custom also. I'm not going to say what it is, but it will definitely be a very good one. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!